Is Tuesday, September 13th, 10:32 a.m. Central Standard Time if you're watching us live. Overall, crypto market cap is sitting just slightly above $1 trillion at $1.008 trillion. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 39.8%, ETH dominance at 19.3%. We have faced some volatility here in the past 24 hours, you guys. Bitcoin right now is oscillating just below $21,000, ETH below $1,600, BNB at 282, Cardano at 46.47 cents, Solana right around $35. Things have taken a little bit of a beating here in the past 24 hours. Telling you, I just had a feeling things were going to come down a little bit. Putting things into perspective, past 24 hours out of these alts, along with Bitcoin, the best performing crypto is BNB, and then the worst is Cardano. On the 7-day, we can see Cardano, it takes the cake again. Cosmos is the best performing altcoin on our list right here. In the 30 days, Cosmos beats everything out. Solana is actually the bottom of that list. For the 60-day, Cosmos is the winner once again. Solana is at the bottom of that list. Just kind of showing you as to how kind of go about picking altcoins. I do believe there was some news regarding Polygon. That's why it actually has been performing decently. Looking at the 1 hour chart, we can see that the bulls, for the time being, have found some support right at this line, which looks to be like 20,800. And if that holds, oh, pardon me. If that holds, we can kind of expect to potentially go back up here, retest these lines of support, get it back above 21.1. If not, we look to be going down to the downside, potentially down to 20,100 or something like that, or potentially 19.8 or potentially 19.5. But again, only time will tell. Looking at the 1-day chart, we can see that we drew this. I literally drew this dotted line, you guys, at like 5 a.m. this morning, and I was like, I don't know. I'm getting some weird feelings about this line. I feel like Bitcoin's gonna break below it, and it did. Dylan LeClaire over on Twitter says 16 months after the ban, which saw hash rate drop by 50%, followed by a 70% market correction in Bitcoin. Hash rate is pushing new highs. Miner revenue per terahash is approximately down 80% from its 2021 highs and headed for new all-time lows. So the chart and log that he has, pretty interesting. Definitely something to pay attention to. Middle Eastern country Bahrain to test Bitcoin payments. Again, more and more people are going to be exposed to Bitcoin and crypto as a whole because of this. Whales are preparing to buy and top up their holdings in the coming weeks, says CEO DeVere Group. That means some volatility to the downside. Is that why people are going to be packing, filling their bags? Here, this guy says gold is physically scarce. It is a rock. It does not have a native yield, and neither does Bitcoin. So how can ETH be physically scarce, have a native yield, and have no energy footprint while keeping decentralized governance? Hint, you're being played. And honestly, you guys, I'm not trying to spread any FUD or anything like that, but I've always liked Ethereum, but I never looked at it as like the end all be all for the L1s. I think I'm still going to be investing into ETH heading into the merge and after the merge, but the way I look at it is like a lot of people say stock up on Bitcoin and ETH. For me, it's like Bitcoin, have a little bit of ETH, and then have some altcoins too. Don't sleep on the altcoins because that's where you're going to make the gains. And the reality is a lot of the institutions are going heavy into ETH. Whether that's a good thing or not remains to be seen. But I'm not super bullish on ETH long term. Short term, I'm pretty bullish. I do think we're going to see some downside here going into the merge, along with some other news that we're going to discuss here in a bit. Banking giants Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and Citadel launch Bitcoin and crypto exchange. Again, just going to expose more and more people to Bitcoin and crypto. Russia's prime minister asks regulators to finalize regulations for cross-border crypto payments. More exposure. Love it. Russian news agency reported multiple government officials deliberating on accepting Bitcoin and some cryptocurrencies as payment for international trade 2023. Crazy stuff. Polygon put out Institutional Week in New York is in full swing, and we're thrilled to be there today. In addition to SALT Conference, we'll be at Blockworks Digital Asset Summit, New York, where Sandanip will discuss alternative scaling solutions. Interesting Ethereum institutional flows. CoinShares has found that there were lots of outflows from institutional investment vehicles for Ethereum last week. News comes shortly before Ethereum's transition from proof of work to proof of stake, scheduled in less than 2 days. CoinShares takes it as a sign that institutional investors are nervous about any issues that could arise during the merge. Large amounts of ETH have also been flowing onto exchanges recently, suggesting some whales are planning to sell. And I think that is kind of what we're starting to see here unfold, you guys. Along with inflation not being, it is going down for the time being. I don't think we've seen the worst of it just yet, but with inflation going down, I think people are trying to get some money ready because they see the inevitable, which is that inflation is going to go up higher than where it was this month and last month. In fact, Germany has zero capital gains tax on Bitcoin if you hodl for more than 1 year. Just remember, not your keys, not your crypto. So don't keep all your crypto on the exchange. Might get wrecked. Inflation falls to 8.3%, dropping for the second month in a row. I think this is more or less like a lower high before we go higher, because I know meat prices are going to like double, triple potentially here in the next 3 to 6 months from what I've been hearing from some farmers. Tulsi Gabbard says our president should be uniting our country. Instead, Biden is dividing us by demonizing tens of millions of Americans who voted against him or opposed his policies, working with big tech and weaponizing our DOJ/security apparatus to undermine our freedoms. The United States is threatening to impose sanctions on buyers of Russian oil that fail to abide by the price cap proposed by Western allies. This should go over well with China and India. Have a good weekend. This is kind of late. So this is 4 days ago, but not good. Will not end well. Head of Germany's BDI Industry Association. We expect a massive recession in Germany. BlackRock saying something similar, saying Europe will spiral into very severe recession. The European energy utilities that might be facing a margin call of €1 trillion would agree. I am sure of that. Here we have the Dutch Minister of Agriculture has resigned following months of uprising and opposition and nitrogen starvation policy. I want to see all these pieces of shit, I'm sorry, pardon my French, resign, because what they're doing to the farmers, what they're doing to people across the globe, basically cutting the food supply down by at least like 25%, is disgusting. They're giving more and more power to big farmers, and it's not good because then they have more and more control over food supply. They get away with more and more. It's just overall not a good look, not a good sign for things to come. Here we have over in New Zealand, after discriminating and terrorizing her nation for not doing what she wanted them to do, the Prime Minister of New Zealand finally drops all health mandates. This is the point where everyone should be asking themselves, what was the point of all of this? I kind of heard the clip. Basically, she's saying, I think we need to let people make their own decisions if they want to wear a mask because they feel like they're immunocompromised or whatever. So be it, let them do that. And really, lady, it took you over 2 years to come up with this proposal. Like, come on. In his first trip outside of China since COVID began, China's President Xi Jinping will meet with Putin of Russia, China gave tens of billions in emergency loans to vulnerable nations. It's now emerged as world's major creditor and International Monetary Fund competitor. Grab your popcorn. This show's going to be wild. Argentina has formalized its BRICS membership application. Who are other possibilities? Iran could be one of them, Saudi Arabia another, Egypt possibly one, Turkey being another. Worth following this closely because if this happens, the world will dramatically change. And I think we're going to see something pertaining to this here in the next few months unfold. I think the world is restructuring drastically. I'm going to leave you with this, guys. I hope you guys liked the stream. It was a bit short, but we had to discuss the volatility just a little bit. If you're over on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I'll leave you with this clip. I'll see you tomorrow. Hit the notification bell to be notified when we go live next. Leave you with this clip.
I'm here today because Twitter leadership is misleading the public, lawmakers, regulators, and even its own board of directors. What I discovered when I joined Twitter was that this enormously influential company was over a decade behind industry security standards. The company's cybersecurity failures make it vulnerable to exploitation, causing real harm to real people. And when an influential media platform can be compromised by teenagers, thieves, and spies, and the company repeatedly creates security problems on their own, this is a big deal for all of us. I'm here today because Twitter leadership is misleading the public, lawmakers, regulators, and even its own board of directors. What I discovered when I joined Twitter was that this enormously influential company was over a decade behind